Well, hey, guys, it is TexAgs Rewind. I'm going to allow everybody to say one word, and hopefully it'll make a sentence. 2 words. 2 words. Go. Just 2 words.
Wow. Wasn't ready.
Wasn't ready.
That.
Giggle.
God, that was terrible. I wanted to say I wasn't ready.
That's his fault.
For App State to lose by 30. So that was
okay. We're playing add-on.
I didn't explain it well, but I thought you guys were smart enough.
But Browning just completely crumbled.
I did.
I'm not
under pressure right
We're
there.
going to have to keep Browning at the 11 a.m. kickoff.
Don't call me clutch.
He was reading TexAgs.
Reminded me of the first half of the Colorado game. All right, we're talking about the Heisman Watch with OB. That was good times. Love getting his breakdown. Stephen McGee by Sell Lease. He has some good ones there. Aaron Torres around college football. And these jokers. Tell everybody who you are.
Fan show.
No, your name.
Oh, Matt Browning.
Gosh, you're struggling.
I'm just having a rough morning.
I'm Chase Hernandez.
Are you?
Former fighting Texas Aggie leader Roy May.
Give me something else. One more. I'm making this all kinds of awkward.
And next year, Nuno.
Next year, Nuno. That is me. Thank you very much. It's TexAgs Rewind.
Number 5, I put KJ Jefferson, the quarterback from Arkansas. They did beat number 23 Cincinnati, and he passed or accounted for 285 yards and 4 touchdowns, passed for 223 yards and 3 touchdowns, rushed for 62 and a touchdown, and that was against a team that was ranked.
Yep.
So he's number 5 on my list.
Yeah. It's he was pretty good.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know people don't want him to be, but he's a pretty darn good.
He's a good quarterback.
Yep.
Number 4, Stetson Bennett of Georgia. I've never felt like he's that great a player, but he was a star in that 49-3 blowout of Oregon, which was ranked number 11. Now, we can argue whether or not they should have been, but they were, and he completed 25 of 31 passes for 368 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Now that he's on the list, on your list, it's going to be hard for him to come off of it if Georgia has the kind of year that we expect.
Well, usually a quarterback of a national championship contender automatically becomes a Heisman candidate. But if he has some pedestrian games and they win because of their defense, then that does that make him? He has to look Heisman worthy himself.
Yeah.
But he's definitely off to a great start, as is our number 3 guy here.
What a start for this guy.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson, the quarterback of Florida. It's all quarterbacks, by the way. Richardson was amazing in a 29-26 upset of number 7 Utah. He passed for 168 yards and rushed for 106 and was involved in 3 touchdowns.
That's not bad.
That's not bad, especially when you're playing a team that is supposed to be in the top 10 and some people were projecting as a playoff team.
Remind me, they went from being like the not ranked at all to like 12th, right?
Florida, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big jump. Now, I guess we're going to find out who they really are. I love this matchup with Kentucky. I think they're getting Kentucky at the right time for Florida. They're missing Chris Rodriguez. They're missing another running back as well, and I think they're getting him at home. Like, there's a lot of positives going in. And I don't know if we can read too much into Kentucky's game last week, but they didn't look all that good either.
They didn't, but again, first game, and Kentucky's going to challenge them because Kentucky always has a pretty good offensive line under Mark Stoops. And I think one area of concern about Florida is their defensive front.
Yep. All right, let's do some buy, sell, lease. Stephen, I'm going to let you go first. What are you buying?
Well, I'm buying the wide receiver group for all the reasons we just discussed.
Good reason. Good group to buy. What about you, Obi?
Don't ever overreact in the first game, but I'm buying that defensive line and pass rush. They are so many that can really put pressure on the quarterback. That you're always going to have a fresh guy out there, and gosh, I still think I wonder how many sacks they would have gotten if they would have been playing a quarterback with just the normal escapability and speed of a quarterback. That guy was really fast. But I'm buying that defensive line and pass rush.
I'm actually going to continue buying the defense, but this is a stat that I found. The defense has now gone 12 quarters without allowing a touchdown at Kyle Field. Let that sink in for a second, because the last time they allowed a touchdown at Kyle Field was against South Carolina, and in that game, they gave up some garbage touchdowns at the very end. South Carolina had negative yards going into the fourth quarter. So that defense at Kyle Field, 2 different regimes, but Still, that defense here for A&M has not given up a touchdown in 3 games. So that's a good one. All right, what do we? Go ahead.
I'm interested why none of you are buying Shamar Stewart's grill, the gold grill.
Well, because I would like to buy one for OB and kind of surprise him with it. That's more my reasons.
I would love to see OB with the gold grill, man. If we could. And by the way, I haven't got to see the hair till just now. OB, it does look good. You look
Beatles.
good,
Natural.
Very Beatles.
natural. Yeah.
I do need a haircut.
I
I do need a haircut. I wish I had Stephen McGee's hair.
It's good head of hair.
I wish my hair would start thinning, and I wouldn't have to put so much effort into trying to.
Gosh. All right.
I may go back to my old Tyler Morning Telegraph days and just grow it out and wear the ponytail again.
What are we selling, Stephen?
You should. Well, yeah, I mean, it's easy selling the offensive line right now. They got a lot of things to figure out. They got a bunch of young guys. Unfortunately, I don't know if there's an answer that's going to come around quick enough. The concern is, can you get by a team like Appalachian State and get enough yardage on the ground, to win this football game? Number one. Number two is, the concern is weeks moving forward. Can they grow up quick enough in order for us to beat teams like Miami?
Obi?
I'm selling along those lines. The excuse of, the communication out there. I once heard a very intelligent man from Burnett, Texas say, just show me the dang baby. I don't want to hear about the labor. Just show me the baby. I don't want to hear, you've got a coach that's paid. I'm talking about Adazio, paid a lot of money to coach these guys up. You've got guys that have been in the program. Some are making their first start, but they've been in the program for a while. Okay, you had a bad game. Fine, fix it, and let's get A-Chain going, because there's too much at stake this year. Too much possibility for a communications issue in your offensive line to keep you from there. So. Selling that excuse, make it happen. Fix it.
I'm selling Appalachian State's fourth quarter offense. They're not going to score 40 points in the fourth quarter at Kyle Field. I'm selling that. That was just North Carolina's bad defense. We got to go quickly on the lease. What are you leasing, Stephen?
I'm going to lease Fadil Diggs off the edge. He flashed to me. I have one player on the defense side of the ball that I really felt like had a great game. It was him. We have to have a great pass rusher. I want to see it more often before I fully buy it.
Obi?
I'm leasing Haynes King. Look, I'm willing to be patient. I think you should be, but the concerns about the interceptions are bona fide.
Sure.
And so he's got to reduce those while still making the big plays. And maybe he will do that. I'm not willing to say that he won't get better. So I'm just leasing now. But if he doesn't, you may need to turn to somebody else.
Well, I am going to lease tight end play. We didn't see much of it at all, really, in the game against Sam Houston. I know it's a bread and butter play for Jimbo, and I think Haynes needs some of those short routes to go to. I'm leasing that. I expect to see more of that, hopefully, here. AT, I assume you caught a glimpse of A&M's performance there against Sam Houston. So how do you think that they showed compared to teams not named Georgia, not named Alabama?
Yeah, what I saw was pretty good. I mean, I obviously caught especially the beginning of the game before the first delay. And listen, I think we all thought Haynes King would look a little bit rusty. I think he did look a little bit rusty. I think that's completely expected for a guy that really, didn't have any game snaps for over a year. But to finish that game, and I don't care, one thing about me, David, that I've been consistent on through the years, when you beat an FCS team or a Group of Five team or a bad team by a score that you're supposed to beat them by, I'm never going to hold it against you, right? Like I think we talked about this last week, but Florida State wins their Week 0 game by 40, and people say, "Oh, who cares? It's only XYZ FCS team." And I said, "Yeah, but I see Group of Five teams, FCS teams beat Power 5 teams all the time. Maybe not as much as the SEC level, say like the ACC or the Pac-12, but when Texas A&M does exactly what they're supposed to do." I know you obviously want to limit the turnovers with Haynes King, but get the win, put up 31 points, pretty convincing, never really in doubt. That's what you want. That's what you got. And now, obviously, this week and then certainly next week, things really ramp up for the Aggies.
Yeah, I love that thinking. That's the thing. You can psychoanalyze and break things down. And we could have had 18 turnovers, yada, yada, yada. But at the end of the day, you won by 31, right? And they didn't move the ball on you but one drive.
Would you rather be a Texas A&M fan today or I don't know, Oregon's probably not the right example because, obviously Georgia's such a good team, but I'm just trying to think, would you rather be a Texas A&M fan today or, I don't know. I can't think of anything, but you win. You did what you needed to do. And by the way, and we've talked about this before, you and I and anybody in our business, by the way, sometimes winning 63-0 with no turnovers isn't the best thing, as weird as it sounds, because then it's tough to get those teaching points across in practice. So, you get the win. It's never in doubt. Obviously, you get a lot of guys on the field with a chance to get some reps. I think overall it was a net positive for the Aggies last week.
Yeah, and that made it harder watching Georgia just completely.
Right.
That's where we want to be,
That
and to
was
watch
awesome,
them
by the
absolutely
way.
destroy them is hard. Yes.
But go through the SEC. Outside of those two teams, people had their problems. Sure. Go ahead, Jason.
I think with that weather delay, I think that completely wiped what you really should take away from that game off the table, because that's a long wait to come back and play. And yeah, they played a little bit better in the second half, but you see the defense throw a shutout. That should be the number one takeaway from everybody.
Oh, so thrilled about that.
Okay, so you see 31 points, and people think we should have had 40, 50, whatever. I mean, you go back, and I encourage people to watch games a second time because you watch it live. Like you said, you're in the heat of the moment.
Yep.
You think things are going a certain way. Go back and watch it again. Sit back. You already know what's going to happen, and then really see what's going out on the field.
Don't just watch the ball, watch the plays.
And so, to me, when I was going back and rewatching that game, because I was listening to most of the game traveling on Saturday, and I went back and watched, and I was like, this seems like a true preseason NFL game at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Once that delay's over, you're trying to figure out a few things, and I think it comes into this Saturday being really your starting point because you got a really good opponent coming in that I think you're going to find out, like Roy said, you don't really know what's going on in the first week. The second week's going to be where are we at certain positions, I think.
Well, yeah, then you have two games, and it's also, you can go back and look at your opponents and who they played the second week, and it's this huge round robin of evaluations. And I think when you have two games, that I know it's literally twice as much data, but I think you start to get a better feel.
But I think this game coming up is the perfect game to really get a good judgment going into Miami to see where this program is at certain positions on the team.
Let me also throw these two things. If it's not 10-0 with whatever time left in the second quarter before the big touchdown, we're probably looking at this differently. If they're able to run the ball, which they weren't, we're looking at it because I don't think the score matters. At the end of the day, do we care if we win by 31 or 50? I'd like to score 50, but
I think one side of the score matters. I think the shutout matters.
Sure.
Yeah. But when you're talking about, but to go to your point.
If they're able to run the ball. Now, I'm going to read this because 512 is the one who came at you a moment ago. He says, this was not a Division I team. Their critique was completely warranted. I'll let you guys take that.
A Division I team next year.
What?
So you're saying it's an FCS team. Okay, so Appalachian State, who's coming in this week, was an FCS team 15 years ago and beat a top 5 Michigan team. Okay, went on to win a national championship that year. This team just won a national championship in FCS a year and a half ago, and they're fixing to jump to FBS. Okay, who made the interception against Haynes the first play?
BJ?
A former 5-star player that went to the University of Texas. They got guys on the team. Their quarterback was a Georgia Tech transfer. Okay,
and they're super well coached.
And they're really well coached. So this whole it's not an FBS team. No, throw that out the window. These players are competitive,
and we dominated them. So I mean, we dominated them. Yes, we made some mistakes and we tried some things. I think we were really vanilla. We didn't try to show anything. I don't know if we blitzed, but maybe twice the entire game.
All right, I'm going to let you finish out the show because I know you're ready to do it correctly.
Yes, we'd like for everyone watching now to go on. Let's go ahead and subscribe, like, share, and comment on this video, and come back again next week.
There is no way they're still watching. No way.
He Shooter McGavin did.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. This guy's a golfer.
This is like watching a train wreck from 5 feet away.
Hey, man.
I thought you finished great. I thought it was a great job.
Thank you.
You know what?
You did finish.
That's an
strong.
LSU performance right there.
Hey, corn dog. Hey, I'm having corn dogs for lunch.
Oh, that would be the missed extra point.
That's it.
Goodbye.
Got nothing else.
Goodbye.
Okay, good.